All right, Matthew, let's get into One Piece.
One Piece.
Chapter 1060. So we'll try to speed through these because you and I have a lot to do after this. So let's 1060. So the news is out. The Straw Hats have found out. It says that Sabo has killed Nefertari Cobra and kidnapped Nefertari Vivi, and Luffy is in a great state of shock because of this. So Matthew, your thoughts on what is going through Luffy's mind and everyone else's mind right now?
Well, I'm glad that Zoro was able to rein him in and be like, "What did you say about Ace?"
Mm-hmm. Now I know that some people, I noticed some people were pointing out how it's like, well, okay, yeah, Luffy let Ace do as he wanted, and then he ended up captured by Blackbeard, and ultimately ended up, when saving Luffy, paid for with his life. So there was some people pointing that out. But yes, Zoro being the what is that? The daughter.
He's the de facto first mate. He's the de
Yes.
facto first mate. No matter, it's like regardless of what his role is, the first mate role,
Right.
or at least, or it's more of like the EXO.
So Luffy
First
wanted
mate,
to go.
It's on a non-military ship. It's the first mate.
Yeah.
He is the first mate.
So
by default, it's like you could say It's like you could say whatever. He is the first mate by default. So
Luffy's making these unreasonable, orders of wanting to go to Morijawa or back to Alabasta, and so it's not really anything that they can do right now. But they're gonna see how things are going, and let me see here. I think, what else are we seeing because of this? So obviously Luffy is gonna believe in Sabo. That's without a doubt. Everyone's gonna believe in Sabo. If they're on his side, and as it should be. And then
everyone who knows his character knows that he wouldn't do something like that.
Right.
And are we gonna skip ahead to his call with the revolutionaries?
Well, I want to first say that. So then Luffy decides that he tells now. It seems to me that I never had seen what specifically that Luffy had told Ace and Sabo, and then he even told this to Shanks. But apparently he has a dream, and he starts talking about the dream, and then it kind of drifts off. Because of what's going on with how would I say it? He hasn't. It's not revealed in real life, so that's what's going on there. So, but then it's not revealed to the audience, but it's revealed to the crew, and the crew is in shock, and it seems something that's near impossible. And but it seems like it's going to be something that'll be a pretty big reveal once it gets to us.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I wasn't. Yeah, his dream, which he made clear, is not just to be king of the pirates. It's what shocked Sabo and Ace.
Right.
So you know what? That's whatever he's gonna do after he goes to Laugh Tale. He's gonna reveal it afterwards. He specifically said, "After I become king of the pirates." So there's an end game. It's not just gonna end when he goes to Laugh Tale. There's an end game here that's going to extend it past.
So this confirms that the series is not going to end after they find the One Piece. There's going to be
he's gonna go. He's gonna make it to Laugh Tale. He's gonna become the king of the pirates, and he's gonna go from there.
Yep.
Whatever this end game is, he's gonna try to accomplish.
So now let's get into the call to the revolutionaries that you mentioned. So he called Dragon and everyone at the end of the chapter. Yes, Sabo did. So means that Sabo was confirmed alive at that point. And Sabo is calling from a place called Momoiro Island, which is one of the kingdom. It's home to the Lelouchia Kingdom, which is one of the nations that was toppled when the revolutionaries started doing stuff during the Reverie. And but you've got the Marines. They're tracking Sabo's call, and it almost seems like. So that would indicate to me that Sabo wanted to be heard. He didn't care whether the Marines were going to be tracking him or not, because what he found out, he feels needs to be revealed to the world.
And he got out enough of it before the call got cut off.
Enough of it to say that there's something wrong, but what we find, Matthew, and he
found out who's behind the.
Found out that there's. Yes. Now, he found out, yes, that there's someone sitting on the empty throne that shouldn't be there. But, Matthew, do you want to go through and tell us what happens before Sabo can make the final reveal?
Well, he starts before he reveals everything. They jam his signal, so he only gets out that he is talking. He was not the one who assassinated Cobra, and that he found out. I forget if he said that there is someone behind.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say
someone?
That before?
He was saying that someone, the throne was not empty, is what he said specifically.
And is that where it got cut off?
That's where he gets cut off, and
which at that point most Marines don't know this.
Mm-hmm.
They're
99%.
Actually, probably all the Marines don't know this.
Yes.
Because as far as what's it's called, as far as Sakazuki knows, the head of the government is the Gorose.
Yes.
So he doesn't know this. He doesn't know this. So any Marine who heard that now knows something that they shouldn't.
Right.
Because the Gorose, the fact of the matter is all the inbred revolutionary world nobles probably don't know Im exists.
Yeah.
The way that it was described, there might be one person who knows about Im that I know of, and that's probably Doflamingo.
Yes, so we'll get into that. We'll get into that, Matthew, but I need you to reveal what happens at the end.
It gets cut off. I forget what was Sabo saying after it got cut off.
I don't know. I don't remember specifically, but somehow the Gorose say something to the Marines who are listening, and their message was that whatever you heard, you can forget what you heard because of something. And so, Matthew, what happens?
It was the Gorose who were saying that?
Yeah.
Well, they said, what's it called? Island never existed anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And we just see this giant flash of light go boom and just literally wiped the island off the face of the earth.
It has basically been erased from history, is what happens. Yes, the island never existed to begin with, is what they end up saying. So this is a big revelation.
Well, and the way that Oda frames it, it looks like Im was the one who instituted that attack. So, I doubt this is a devil fruit.
No.
Unless Im is like the Gorose and is immortal and passed it on and was the one who basically, long story short, we know what happened to God Valley.
Yes. I was gonna say, man, this is exactly what happened to God Valley, is that whatever this was, this weapon, because it's probably a weapon. It's not a devil fruit at this point. It is a weapon. And you and I are running along the same theory, which is this is probably Uranus.
Yeah, this is probably, yes, the world government has control of Uranus.
Right.
And it's able to literally wipe it. It's got like the Buster Call. This makes
Buster
the
Call
Buster
is
Call
nothing.
look this makes the Buster Call look like a mosquito bite in comparison. Because the Buster Call will basically reduce an island to rubble.
Right.
But there's still something there. This destroys it completely. Like, a nuke can't even do this.
Yeah.
A nuke would flatten an island, but there's still something there. So we know what happened to God Valley.
Yeah. And more than likely, we don't know for sure, but it's not 100% confirmed. But you and I are both standing on the same theory that this was.
This is 90% sure what probably happened to God Valley.
An interesting theory I saw. I don't know if it was from Grand Line Review or King of Lightning, but there's a theory that is NL somehow connected to Eam. And we don't know that for.
I don't know, because NL's power is a lot more slow moving.
Right. So hard to, but maybe they're connected in some way, but I don't know. It's kind of, because NL went to the moon.
Well, let's look at it this way. These are similar attacks.
Yes, that's why they're saying.
I'm making a prediction. Eam is going to try this attack again.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
And we know what happened when NL, with enough, attempted an attack like that, and
yeah, because he was able to do the same thing. In fact, he ended up destroying his own home country.
He destroyed his own home country. He destroyed Skypiea, and he was gonna try to destroy, what was the island that got lifted up?
Oh gosh, man, it's been so long since we've been on this. I know what you're talking about.
He was gonna try to destroy that island, but one person prevented him, and that is the owner of the Nika fruit.
Yeah.
AKA Luffy. And that was pre-awakening.
Yeah.
Now Luffy's awakened, and the only thing that's stopping him is his imagination.
Yeah.
If Luffy wants to try to deflect it, you know that with Future Sight, he could see that attack coming.
Yes.
He can, not only could he probably deflect that attack, he could probably send it back and destroy Uranus.
Yeah.
That's what I'm predicting is going to happen. And I don't know if Eam would be on that weapon, or if he would just watch it as Uranus gets destroyed. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Eam is going to try to destroy, try some attack where Luffy is either in the line of fire or near it. Luffy's going to deflect it, and it's going to go back and destroy Uranus.
Yeah.
That's what I'm predicting is going to happen.
So, just to kind of close out this chapter before we get into 61.
I do want to talk about this one thing. The fact that what's his name? In theory, the Gorosei have the power to essentially pull Big Brother and say, "Oh, this never existed." But the fact that God Valley most likely, got this treatment, and what's his name is Sengoku talked about it, 2 other Marines, means that it's probably not absolute.
Well, here's what I think, because it's not like,
I think word of this is gonna get back to Sakazuki, because weren't the Marines hearing about sword members?
Possibly.
Well, the thing with sword is that sword may not be under Sakazuki's control.
Well, we know about that.
We know that's not under his control?
Well, no, we've theorized about that. Remember?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
So let me get into this really quick. So Straw Hats come across, so on their journey they come across what appears to be a winter island. It's got very strong winds and a lot of big waves and stuff. And then Zoro gets to demonstrate his newfound talent, and he splits away with his sword.
It looks more like a water spout, is what it looks
Yeah.
like.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, it looks like that's what it was. And then we see Jewelry Bonnie revealed at the end. Somehow she ends up flying towards the ship, and her new bounty is updated to 320 million, which is almost twice of what she was pre-time skip. So crazy chapter. I think obviously the major, really just way out there thing was just the erasure of the Lelouch kingdom.
You know, an interesting thing that Grand Line Review pointed out was that everyone else in Lelouch Kingdom, they were looking, the angle was looking up, but from the looks of it, Sabo is not looking directly up. He's looking horizontal, which indicates he may not. The call may have been coming from nearby Lelouch, but he may not have been on the island. I know this is like a fake out. This might be a fake out death, but the way that they are hinting it, it looks, the way that it's, what's that? Oda put hints in there that Sabo may not have been on.
Well, I mean, nothing's at this point. Nothing's confirmed as of yet. That is a fact. The only thing that's confirmed is that island no longer exists. But what became of the inhabitants? Now, again, it's One Piece. Death is kind of interchangeable, obviously. But yeah, in this case with Sabo,
death, unless it's explicitly stated, is not absolute.
Yeah. So, Matthew, let's get into chapter 1061 really quick. So, Luffy is able to get Bonnie out of the water, and she says,
water himself.
Right, she says she was being chased by a huge underwater sea monster, and now we see this huge mouth trying to eat the Thousand Sunny.
It reminded me of the movie Meg, which is about the megalodon.
So, and then there's a lot of being chased by this sea monster, which actually turns out to be a giant shark, but it also has a lot of
it's mechanized.
Mechanized parts on it. You get 3 Devil Fruit users, Luffy, Chopper, and Bonnie. They fall into the sea. Jinbei jumps into the sea to rescue them, so which is the natural thing to do, because he's got good swimming.
Yeah, he's a fisherman.
But this shark seems to be a challenge for the Thousand Sunny. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, which is interesting. And then let me see.
We find out why.
Right. Well, and then we see that Marine base G14, which appears to be at least, I don't know if it's the permanent, but at least the temporary part of the headquarters for Sword, as you were mentioning. And we find out that, so Kobe and Drake are not the only members of Sword. As it turns out, there's quite a few other people. You've got a couple of these members here of Sword, and actually I'm going to open up the Sword wiki so that I can see who is in it. So, confirmed members are Drake, who's a captain, and then you've got Rear Admiral Prince Groose, you've got Captain Kobe, you've got Commander Hibari, who's a new character.
Is she the one with the spike choker?
No, that was That was Vice Admiral Dahl. And I have no idea what her role is, but it does not have her as a member of Sword, at least. Oh, she's the commander of the G14 base. So she probably knows about Sword, but she's probably staying clear of any politics or anything. Yeah, association. So Lieutenant Commander Helmeppo. So you got 5 confirmed members right there, and Hibari and Helmeppo are obviously distraught of the news of Kobe being kidnapped by Black.
I'm wondering if what's it called? Garp might be involved with Sword at all.
Well, I mean, given his connection to
two of the 3 members of Sword, or no, 2 of the members of Sword are his proteges.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would not be surprising. I mean, heck, man, can you imagine if he was the one who was actually? I mean, because we have this Rear Admiral Prince Groose now. Him being the leader of Sword, I don't know. That's a hard one to say. Could Garp be the leader of Sword? Hey, man, that'd be a pretty something to see that.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm wondering if Sword might try to pull a coup.
That'd be a difficult one because that's only, who knows how many members of Sword. There's, at least according to the wiki, there's 9 confirmed members, 4 that are unnamed. But that's kind of a long shot if you're only, I mean, obviously Sword could be even more extensive.
Well, here's the thing. What if Admiral
Oh, one of the like Fujitora.
What if Fujitora is the head? This sounds like something that he would do. Because we know he's a moral justice guy. He does not like absolute justice. He was willing to be a smartass to
Sakazuki.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This sounds like something he would do, and we know he was drafted. So
right.
he didn't want to join the Marines in the first place. So he was drafted. He's an admiral. It just sounds like something he would do.
That would be
it probably would not be Smoker. Smoker doesn't sound like the type of guy.
Smoker. Well, I mean, even Smoker was willing to admit that he wasn't that smart. When he was talking to Kuzan. He admitted that to Kuzan.
Yeah, he's willing to work within a system, but he's
not smart enough to run the operation.
Oh, he admit that he wouldn't make a good admiral or
he had that conversation with Kuzan.
So the ceiling for him is probably where he's at right now.
Right. Well, he would not be the leader of Sword, and judging on how things are going, he probably isn't involved with Sword, and probably neither is Tashigi, to be honest. Now, they might be aware of Sword. There is that possibility.
Well, that's another thing, is that if you have people like them who kind of are more moral justice people and would be willing to it sounds like there's people who might be more allied with Sword, and if there was a coup, might join them.
Possibly.
Because there's people within the Marines who do not don't agree with absolute justice.
Right.
So.
Okay, so let me see here.
Speaking of which, have we talked about the Kuzan Sword membership theory?
No, we haven't.
There's that fan theory that he might be, even though he's kind of aligned with the Blackbeard pirates.
Right. Yeah, he might actually be the person behind the sword, and he never left the Marines, sort of thing. But if that was the case, then that would have to involve Sakazuki's knowledge. He would have to be involved with it, because then he would have the knowledge that sword exists. Right now, there's no indication that he knows about sword's existence. So yeah.
Yeah, sword just doesn't sound like something that Sakazuki would do.
No, it doesn't.
He's not a clandestine person. He's a upfront, full frontal assault type person.
Yep.
He doesn't like politics. He doesn't like,
He's a boots on the ground type guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so so they're arguing back and forth. Sword is arguing. At least Helmeppo and Hibari are arguing with Prince Bruce about rescuing Kobe, which obviously they're not going to proceed with. And, they're still waiting for contact from Drake, who is probably still on Wano. He's probably trying to make his way back and maybe try to find a Den Mushi, for all we know. So there's that. So we go back to what happened with the Straw Hats. They're in a bit of a conundrum because,
this giant shark.
The giant shark and the Thousand Sunny is underwater, which is not good.
You still have devil fruit users.
Yeah. So then what's interesting is then when the shark is trying to make a last attack, you've got this giant robot that comes up by him and punches the crap out of this shark. And then you hear this mystery person talking about how the
shark wasn't programmed.
Right. Wasn't programmed correctly. So then the robot fishes the Thousand Sunny and everyone else out of the sea, and then it they go.
It does cut away. We should probably mention the chopper Jinbei
Yeah, go ahead.
Luffy deviation first.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, you'll have to I'll let you take care of that one.
Well, I forget what all Jewelry Bonnie mentions when they are on that island. Oh, they're on Vegapunk's island.
Yes, but they found that it is a Vegapunk island. Oh, that's right. Yes, she had business with Vegapunk. She was trying to talk to Vegapunk, so they came up to that point. But then, so now they're trying to figure out where to find Vegapunk. But we get the rest of the crew who was rescued by that giant robot, and then the door of the cockpit opens up, and you got this woman who steps out of the cockpit and reveals herself to be Vegapunk. And so now you got all these YouTube channels. They're like, we've been waiting 20 some odd years for this to happen, blah, blah, blah. And just, now you got all these theories going on about, okay, so is this really Vegapunk or not? And I gotta admit, it's like, wow, that's Vegapunk. And obviously that's Frankie's idol because, Frankie went during the time skip.
Studying Vegapunk's technology.
Right. So it's like, is it really Vegapunk? And then, obviously a lot of theories says, it might be a clone, or it might be that Vegapunk can transfer. So now we don't even know if Vegapunk is a man or a woman, because maybe Vegapunk could have been a man originally, and then somehow they transfer their consciousness into another body. So
we basically don't know, and the only way we're gonna find out is when it's explained.
For Vegapunk to explain herself right now. So that's interesting to have seen. It's like now we finally have Vegapunk.
It's like, what?
Yeah. It's like, wow, okay, that was quite something. But so here's a crazy theory that I heard about, and I think who was it? I think it was Grand Line Review he was talking about in one of his videos. Basically, they're trying to say, because that Vegapunk looks so similar to Uta from the One Piece Red film, and they're like, so Grand Line Review is trying to say, oh, is Oda trying to canonize the One Piece Red film because Vegapunk looks so familiar to you know what's her name, Uta, who is supposed to be Shank's daughter. Again, the movies are normally non-canon, and we have yet to see.
Some movies do include canon material, but
right. The events of the movies are considered non-canon, but they end up having later on canonical characters. The best example would be Shiki. So they're saying, hey, and actually Uta is at this point semi-canon. The reason why I'm saying that is because of when, if you remember, Shanks, right, the silhouette, Shanks when he was battling Rokugyu via Haki, conquers Haki, and that silhouette of Uta was shown. So at this point, that means I'm going to consider her to be semi-canonical because she has come up in the manga. Well, but whether or not the
existence of Uta
is confirmed, is canonical.
Yeah.
What her connections are, if she actually is the daughter of Shanks, is a whole nother story that who knows if we're actually going to get it or not. So that's where we're at. So that was the conclusion, basically, of One Piece 1061. So Matthew, I mean, 2 pretty big chapters, and it's making all the One Piece YouTubers go crazy. Just crazy. What more can I say?
Yeah, it's yeah, yeah, it's just this is kind of mind blowing. It's like here we are going. It's just like, huh?
Yeah.
Well, all right. You are talking, when you're talking about Vegapunk, you're talking about someone who created the Pacifista, which appear to, and then the Seraphim, who appear to be semi-clones.
Yeah. So now that this is gonna be the weird one that's gonna come up now. It's like how did Vegapunk perfect that technology? And like, again,
you're talking about a genius.
Yes.
I love how Vegapunk refers to itself. I'm going to refer to it as an it at this point. I love how Vegapunk refers to itself as a humble genius. If you're referring to yourself as a genius, it's like there's no
humbleness.
Yeah.